Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my channel where I'm finally getting around to doing some more art, but the difference this time around is this particular piece of artwork was actually a commission. One of my lovely Patreons by the name of Lloyd Hurst has requested that I do this drawing for him. It is of his D&D character. I didn't get a name, but it's his D&D character. He is a goblin, a fantasy style goblin that has been captured and taken off of his home planet and pretty much put on a space station kind of thing, and got hold of himself a chainsaw slash sword. So think along the lines of like the 40k Inquisitor chainsaw thing. That's what I was given as a description, so that is what I'm trying to draw today. I thought this was a really interesting character concept, so I decided to take it on. Thought it'd be some good practice. So I did learn some very different skills and sets of abilities using Photoshop. I have been aware of the pen tool for a very long time, but I am not a fan of the pen tool. For me, I find it very difficult to use. Maybe it's just me. Also, yeah, OBS did not record the outlining for this character's thing. It got corrupted, so sorry that it goes from being loads of inked, sketchy lines to inked lines. Apologies there. Back to the pen tool. Yeah, I know it's something that I should use or try and use more and get better at using. However, I just don't. I really like and prefer free-form kind of drawing and artistic expression, which is one of the reasons that I have finally got myself an iPad for drawing, as well as my tablet that I got for my birthday. That in itself is an interesting story, and Loki is here to cause trouble because of course he is. So I also finally managed to figure out how to resize stuff. You may have seen me, or if you're watching this, you of course saw me resize the head. It's something that I have always tried my best to do and never managed to quite get it to work. So I was really glad that this time around I managed to get it to work. I was super duper happy with that. The other thing that I had issues on this, and you may wonder why I keep going in and just like individually drawing the colours in when I could use the fill tool, is I did do some tests of this and it didn't quite work. For some weird reason, no matter how many times I drew around in a line and, you know, tried to make sure that it was all connected, it would not, and just would not fill correctly, so I just stopped worrying about that. If you have any hints or tips on how to do that or how to sort that out, then by all means please let me know. That would be really useful and helpful. And yes, I did end up doing some of this while I was on a Skype call during a Call of Cthulhu game. I didn't realise that that had recorded. I normally delete that off on the corner, so sorry about that. Admittedly, my character sometimes in those games does not do a lot and is not useful because he doesn't have the psychology skills and is just basically there to cast spells and be a pain. So sometimes he just doesn't get to do that. But back to this drawing. So we finally got to the shadows and shading. I do my usual. I use 2 colours of shading. I use a really well, a mid-tone. This is actually quite dark, but I think it was what I was aiming for. Was a darker kind of shadow colour scheme in this one. Normally I'll do 2 layers of shadow with my really dark colour and a slightly lighter version, which you may see on another artistic piece that I am doing at the moment. I then obviously change the layer set to multiply and change the opacity so it's not so dark. This time around I did not use my second darker colour, surprisingly. I normally do. It's one of my favourite things to do on this kind of drawing, but I didn't do it for this one, so apologies there. Or did I? Loki, you are molting. So yeah, I had, oh excuse me, I had highlights. God, Cat, you are super molting on me. Oh God, why? I had the highlights and then I start working on the background, and there's one of the issues that you can see I have with the fill. it just didn't want to work, so I thought I'd colour it myself. I really decided to put background in this time because normally I don't put in backgrounds, but I figured with the way that I'd drawn the character, it was a really good idea to put background in, because otherwise he would just look like he was floating in midair. You know, it looks really cool, but I really wanted to do a background, and it's a simple background because I am terrible at backgrounds. I still managed to do the typical shading that I did on the actual dude himself. I think it's a he. I believe it's a he. I'm not 100% sure, so yeah, please do let me know. I duplicate the character layer and colour it in to make a shadow, erase certain areas so that the shadow falls really nicely, and also add colour so that the chainsaw makes some sense. And then I do the same thing on the background on the wall later on. However, I do spend a lot of time messing around with the clips to try and see if I could make it look nice. Once again, you see the fill issue that I have, but it doesn't quite work the way I want it to. And I add in coloured shadows to that. So I think I just stick with the highlights. Nope, I do some shadows. And then I render the background as well, so it's got some kind of shadowy, messy bits in it, so it doesn't just look like a plain background. And background, jeez. And then that is the finished picture. So I do hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care, have fun, and goodbye.